I recently decided to double dip and get the platinum in Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater again. Hey, when you can double dip the PS4 and 5 versions of the same game, why not? And it got me thinking about my first time through these games, getting the platinum trophies originally, and specifically the trophies that really annoyed me the first time round. I wondered if these same trophies had annoyed me as much this time through my second journey, or maybe this time around they weren't as bad and I got them without trying. So in today's episode, I'm going to look back at 2 annoying trophies from these games. First up is Metal Gear Solid 1, the PlayStation 1 classic, and this is a recent episode, 211 in fact, where I talked about the Practice Makes Perfect trophy for completing all of the VR missions, and my first run through this game with special missions ended in disaster. All VR missions done, Practice Makes Perfect could be unlocked at any minute. Oh man, that was long. Oh man. Why hasn't the trophy popped? Oh, no. No. Come on, I'm 100%. Oh no, what the hell?
It's not over yet!
Yep. Even though I've beaten all 300 odd of these VR missions, which took several hours to do, I still don't have the Practice Makes Perfect trophy. And do you know why? You see, I didn't get the trophy because I picked the VR missions disc, which was the US release of this add-on pack, and not the special missions disc, which was the one in Europe. And of course, the one called VR Missions, for some weird reason, just doesn't unlock this trophy. So yeah, you have to do it on the Special Missions disc, which contains the exact same amount of VR missions as it's the same game pretty much. So I'm now going to have to redo them all again on the Special Missions disc in order to get this trophy. So how did I fare with this trophy on my second time platinum in MGS 1? Well, they actually fixed it. I'm really happy to say you can now unlock the Practice Makes Perfect trophy regardless of whether you're playing the VR missions disc or the special missions disc. Once you get 100%, that gold Practice Makes Perfect trophy will pop. Which is really good because I do not want to have to play through these VR missions for a 4th time, because to be honest they are a bit dull and repetitive, especially when you get the practice and then advanced one or whatever it is, where you just do the same level again but maybe there's a different time limit on it or something. It's just a waste. It's definitely a padded game where they just bumped up the number of missions by repeating a load with just an arbitrary time limit difference to it. But this one's fixed, so feel free to play it and pick whichever VR or special missions one you want to go through. You're probably better off doing the American one because the frame rate will be better. Okay, so that's good news. The first one is a pass, so let's go further back in time to episode 11 where I looked at Metal Gear Solid 3. It Ain't Easy Being Green trophy in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater challenges you with collecting, or rather shooting, all 64 of the hidden frogs within the game. These toy frogs are the game's token collectible trophy. When shot, the frog will make a strange noise, so the player at least knows they are counted. Unfortunately, there are a few things which makes this trophy bulldogs are actually missable, and if there's one thing that is guaranteed to bring my piss to a boil, it's missable collectibles. You see, you can't always go back to certain areas, as they are blocked off at certain story points.
Did you like it?
Another issue I had with the frog collectibles were the ones that were placed during the bike sequence that happens near the end of the game, as trying to shoot these with the sniper rifle can be really tricky, and it's really annoying if you happen to just miss one and then you have to quit out of the game, go back in to load your last save at the start of this section, and then replay a load of it before you get to the point where the frog is to have your attempt. It became really tedious, and that was why this was a really annoying trophy to try and get all of these frogs. So, during my second platinum playthrough of this game, how did I find this trophy? Well, unfortunately this one is still quite BS, because obviously it's just a up-resed version of the game, so the frogs are all still in the same place, and that includes all of those annoying frogs on the runway, and the trophy still requires you to get all of the frogs in a playthrough, so it is a bit of a tedious task going through and trying to get them all. Another issue you might have is sometimes when the frogs are far away or there's a lot going on in a scene, particularly when you're on the bike, it can be hard to actually hear the frog make its sound so you know that you've actually hit it or not. So that's another bit of a frustrating part of it, and some of them are just really, really well hidden that you wouldn't really think to look there if you didn't use a guide to tell you where they all were in the first place. Now, if you can believe it or not, when going for this platinum the second time around, this frog trophy was actually worse than my first time through, because I had to do 2 playthroughs of Metal Gear Solid 3 the second time round to get this platinum, because on my first run through the game, when I was going through all the frogs and everything else, I missed some of the food, and I didn't find out until over halfway through the game, and at that point I figured it wasn't worth me getting all the frogs anymore and struggling with the bike section when I've still got to play through the game and pretty much get everything so that I can get all of the foods. So I then completed that playthrough, got all the trophies I needed from that run, and then done a second run where I got all of the foods and the frogs again, so I kind of did 1.5 times through the frogs in this version of the platinum, which was kind of annoying, to be honest, having to do it all that many times. So there you have it. The practice makes perfect trophy in Metal Gear Solid 1 is no longer bullshit, I'm happy to say, but the it ain't easy being green trophy in Metal Gear Solid 3 for finding all 64 of the Kerotan Frogs is definitely still BS, and it is still worthy of that original BS rating. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this different episode. Have you got these platinums? What did you think of those trophies? Let me know in the comments below.